Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. Of course, special welcoming goes to new people, and for you, I'll explain in 2 words what we're trying to do here, so you should know what to expect. And the best way of explaining is just bringing the quote of traders when they say you plan, you trade, and then you trade your plan. And this is the whole idea of really preparing yourself for the upcoming trading week based on some fundamentals, some technicals, and create a structure. And as you know, when you create a structure, create a plan, it doesn't promise great results, but definitely put things in more organized way. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I started my trading career as a prop trader back in New York in June of 2000, so it's been over 25 years. I did it for about 11 years, and then I moved into, as I like to call, less stressful environment. And I started to mentor and educate others, and I'm very happy I have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. So the agenda of the webinar, as usual, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex, and a little bit of crypto for dessert. Risk disclosure. Whatever we do here, it's purely educational. We do not give any trading signals or suggestions, and you can find the full statement at avatrade.com. Social media channels. Our subscribers list is growing. Please continue subscribing if you haven't done it yet. You have Telegram, you have X, you have a YouTube channel. As I always say, it's my favorite. You have a lot of information there available for you, including tutorials, educational material, and webinars. So if you miss a webinar, don't worry, you can always watch it in a recording. And if you are watching this webinar on YouTube, please don't forget to click likes if you like it, and share if you feel that it's going to help somebody else. And if you have any questions or comments, please write it down. So I intentionally left this slide from last week, right? If you remember, if you were here last week, this was all about Santa Claus rally, which was in the process, right? It says right here, get your Santa Claus rally caps on, then prepare for come down. And that was last week's message. As you can see the date here, December 5th. After Thursday and Friday's market behavior, it's a little bit, I guess that cool down is coming a little bit earlier. So over here, the stock market Santa Claus rally hasn't come to town yet, despite what you're hearing. And it says right here, odds of a rally before Christmas are no better than any other time of the year, and maybe even worse. All right, so we'll go through things. We've seen market reacting on Friday. Nasdaq was down below more than 2%, I think. Other indices as well. Broadcom is the one that pushed the market lower following the previous day of Oracle. Both of the companies reported, as you know, we spoke about it last week. So it says right here, Broadcom's lack of disclosure around its newest AI customer has investors confused about companies' work with OpenAI. It says right here, artificial intelligence player clamor for more computing capacity. Broadcom's stock has been a big winner this year, but the rally is cooling Friday as Wall Street seeks a better unpack of nuances of its customer momentum. Here are other things. These stocks moved mostly today. There was on Friday, Broadcom, Oracle, Tillery, and others. So again, they speak about Broadcom. That was a big move. Here's Oracle, and these are interesting details here. So the Oracle data center hit more than just the stock. Talk about the bonds here as well. So let's read it together. And Oracle, if you remember, when they announced spending $300 billion for OpenAI, that moved the market high, and Oracle jumped. That was at the same time they reported last time the earnings. We'll take a look at the chart. It was just one vertical with a huge gap, and now the stock's been selling heavily. So it says right here, Oracle stock may be slumping, but Wall Street eyes have pivoted from the equity to its debt and its credit default swaps. Oracle stock was down 4.5% at 189.97. Its lowest since June 11. And yes, the stock dropped 13% this week. It's worse since 2018. Being long Oracle stock right now isn't much fun, and so on. I'll just leave it for you. You probably can read it together. But the idea is really, it doesn't look good, and market is reflecting that worries. Now, the Feds, we just had the change, right? The interest rate was cut as we expected. This past week was a big announcement, followed by the press conference. And they did announce they'll be purchasing some assets. And initially, market took it in a positive way. And later on, market's been selling due to this mainly Oracle and Broadcom and general worries about this AI business, right? So we have on the horizon, 28th of January, the next meeting, next decision. And it looks like 75% interest rate stays the same, only 20, almost 25, 24.4%, another cut. So as you could see, as the way it looks as of today, it looks more of no change in upcoming meeting. Now, we have a big week with economic calendar. I'll explain a few things about the economic calendar to people that are new to this. So, as I always say, it's public information. You can access it on our web trader or app, or just Google it. And I think every trader involved in active trading should be aware of these things ahead of time, so you don't get caught by surprise. And if you've been through some of these announcements, on many of them, you see that during especially major announcements like FOMC, NFPs, CPI numbers, and others, you see increased volatility in the markets. You see those huge spikes. So it's good to be prepared. So here, I take out high impact events only, and you can filter through them to see what's relevant to your trading. And these are the things for the upcoming week. We have China industrial production, followed by CPI numbers from Canada. And Tuesday is a big day. Finally, we're getting those NFPs for November. Usually it happens the first Friday of the month, but because most of you know what happened with the US government shutdown, we actually missed the October numbers. And these are the November numbers, showing much later than usual. So the NFP numbers that include non-farm payrolls, employment, unemployment, all those numbers are coming out on Tuesday. Now, before that, we have employment data from UK and PMI numbers from Germany, PMI numbers from European Union. And together with NFPs, we have also retail sales for October as well. So these are the numbers coming out on Tuesday. So you could see I created two pages because the Tuesday took a lot of space. So Wednesday, we have CPI numbers from UK, followed by GDP numbers from New Zealand. And we have another decision. So we have last week was busy. We had, I think, 4 interest rate decisions, and we have Bank of England decision this coming Thursday, and followed by press conference as well. Is it? No press conference here, I guess. We have another interest rate decision from ECB as well, and that's on Thursday. So we have 2 of them. We have CPI numbers for November, also the numbers that the Feds are really watching. So this number here might change after those 2 numbers. We have NFPs and the CPI coming. So I guess we'll follow up next week how these numbers change. So as of now, we have 75 against 25 for interest rates staying. So that's CPI coming on Thursday, followed by press conference of ECB and another one. So we have 3 interest rate decisions. Interesting. Last week 4, this week 3. So Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Let's see if that changes the weakness of yen that's currently happening, and retail sales from UK. So again, these are the major events. So if you take the level of importance, of course, those interest rate decisions, the NFP numbers, retail numbers, and CPI numbers from US as well. All right, winners and losers. We'll go through them when we get to commodities on the technical analysis. And we just run quickly on the numbers. Cocoa bounced nicely after recent sell-off, almost 12% up. Platinum up 6.25, silver up 5.13, palladium up 3, gold up 2, and sugar up 2%. On the negative side, as you could see, the energy sold together with the equity markets. Natural gas, a huge drop after the recent run, almost 22.5%. Heating oil down 6.7, crude oil 4.25, soybeans 262, and copper 189. So these are the winners and the losers. All right, let's move to the charts, and we'll go in our usual sequence. We'll start with indices, then we'll go through some individual stocks, then we'll take a look at commodities, those winners and losers, then Forex, and then a little bit of cryptos for dessert. So as usual, we start with China. As you could see, China is holding the trend line that was set up. We couldn't break it, and we have 4 consecutive sessions in red, closing on Friday below 50-day moving average here. I mean, some traders would look at it as a head and shoulder here, right shoulder a bit lower. I mean, like I always say, if you want to find something on the chart, you'll find it, all those formations, setups, and so on. Nevertheless, we did close below 50-day moving average after trying to run and breaking the trend line connecting the previous highs. So that's not a very bullish sign. Japan, Nikkei fell heavily on Friday, but we're still holding the 50-day moving average here. We have that interest rate decision at the end of the week. Let's see how that will affect the index. Going to US indices, as we said, we had a big drop. Nasdaq was the weakest because of those Oracle and Broadcom leading that losing path. Here we go, a huge drop, closing below 50-day moving average and erasing pretty much roughly 2 weeks of move up. As you could see here, we spoke about it. We couldn't break that previous high here of 25,827. We did try a few tails up, probably taking out stops of the shorters, and then we did have this big drop followed by Thursday's sell-off. So that's on Nasdaq, the biggest loser. S&P's similar situation here. Not as drastic, but still similar situation. We couldn't break this high of November 12th. We tried. Thursday was actually an up day for S&Ps, and Friday was sold, erasing the whole week of advance, but we are still holding above the 50-day moving average here. Dow Jones is the strongest out of 3. We did make an all-time high, I think, here on Thursday and Friday. We give away half of that move, so Dow Jones is holding stronger here. Germany, we did break through the trend line on Thursday and Friday. We came right back in, so a reversal the day after breaking out of the trend line. UK, it's holding above the 50-day moving average, nicely holding the trend line, and Friday was erasing the Thursday's advance. So these are the indices Again, we saw the US indices were the weakest, especially NASDAQ, and it's all that panic or uncertainty or disappointment, whatever you want to name it, in AI related companies. Okay, let's move to individual stocks, and we'll actually take a look at those: Broadcom, Oracle, and of course NVIDIA as well, which, here we go. We'll start with NVIDIA. As you know, NVIDIA was leading the whole excitement with AIs. We've been running up. Here we connected the previous highs. We just broke through that trend line on Friday with a heavy selling. As you could see, as we sell, the volume is growing as well. So this is real selling here. So we did break through the trend line, holding the bottoms here. We are trading currently between 100 and 200-day moving average. And I guess our next checkpoint, should we continue lower, will be around 169.5 here. This was the low of November 25th, 169.46. We're about $5 higher than that point. And if we do break that, I guess the 200-day moving average would be the test here. But before that, I think the low here of 163.98, around 164 area, would be also a serious level to test. Because after this manipulation here, we actually moved higher, and this was the bottom of this move. Again, 163.98, so around 164. We'll be watching that. So that's NVIDIA. And let's take a quick look at Oracle. As Oracle started that sell-off in NASDAQ, as you could see here with the huge gap we had. This a huge gap, a little recovery here, and then Friday continuation. So we did hold this low of Thursday, which was 186.18. We briefly broke below it, but closed a little bit higher. So in any event, Friday's low 185.85. That's our immediate support. Let's set it up. And as you could see, we just had this double bottom here. So we bounced from here on 25th of November. We came to retest it. So far, we're holding this level here around 185.85. Let's see what happens on Monday. I mean, with all this panic and digesting, we could actually see Monday continuation to the downside. It's also a possibility, unless we hear some good news and see how things are on Monday. Of course, we have a lot of news, as we saw in the economic calendar as well. So that's Oracle. Broadcom, a huge sell-off on Friday, as you could see here, with the gap and continuation closing below 50-day moving average. A huge drop here on Broadcom. Now, I just want to show you that Oracle, that's something that I spoke about. This was the earnings and the announcement of $300 billion investment into OpenAI. See how huge of a gap we had, and since then we're just stepping down, lower highs, lower lows, and we are trading way below that gap, of course, and way below that support here. So that's just make things more drastic here, as you could see. Sorry, I just need to charge my mouse. Okay, it's back. So this is the Oracle now Broadcom. Let me just go back to it because I jumped. It was crucial for me to show you this huge gap and then just erasing the whole thing. So Broadcom, as we said, broke the 50-day moving average here, and we might see continuation. And if we continue here, we might come and test this area here around 328. This was the strong support that was tested a few times before we moved higher. That's on a Broadcom. NVIDIA was sold, we saw Oracle, we saw Broadcom. Now, interesting situation with banks, something that caught my attention. Banks actually are not doing bad. But Goldman Sachs had a huge sell-off on a Friday. I didn't find anything specific, but as you could see here, since we broke through this trend line here with a nice intense move, the whole week we went higher. Friday we raised Thursday's move, and you could see the rest of the banks didn't really sell off that day. So that's very interesting. And Bank of America actually had a nice move up on a Friday. Citigroup, a little bit of red, but that was the gap, just covering the gap. So definitely I want to watch Goldman Sachs for upcoming week. Maybe somebody knows something. There was a big sell-off here on the high volume as well. So that's on banks. And let's just go, take a look at the big guys, how they do. Netflix still didn't fix. So Apple is holding, as you could see here, this level that we mark at 277. It's holding nicely here. We did have Thursday sell-off coming right back up. Amazon sold on Friday as well. Microsoft is really sitting here about 200-day moving average, trying to move higher, but couldn't break this 491 areas. Google, Thursday and Friday sell-off. We have this gap. If we continue lower, we might close this gap and see what's next. Meta, take a look at Meta, what we have here this current week. We have a new development, 50-day moving average broke below 200. As we mentioned many times, a lot of analysts paying attention to this, and they call it dead cross. Yeah, for some, it's a signal for selling. So this is Meta. Tesla is holding. Actually Friday we had an update on Tesla. We have this double top here. Should we continue higher, that around 469, 470 level, we could see the resistance. And this is very important, as the market was really selling, right? Tesla actually finished the week on the highs here, right? So it tells us something. As I said, we might continue higher with that strength, or of course the opposite could happen. Tesla could just follow the market if the market continues to sell off. Let's take a look at oil stocks, as the oil's been selling. Another huge sell-off here Friday, a little bit of red, and Chevron is really much weaker than Exxon. It's really sitting here, hugging the 200-day moving average here. Right now, we spoke about Teva Pharmaceutical last week. It's been stepping up nicely. It's been looking very strong here. As we said, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th month to the upside, and we are continuing here. Something to pay attention to. All right, these are the stocks. We'll move now to commodities, and we'll go through those winners and losers one by one. Cocoa had a nice move, nice weekly move here to the upside, as you could see here. We did break on the daily chart through 50-day moving average here on Tuesday, and we continued higher. So now we're facing this resistance here around 64.25, but we're gonna move this level probably around here. This is what the sell-off started, and that was on November 4th. We had a peak here at the high of 66.19. I'll just set it up really quick. Okay, so this is our next level. Should we continue higher here? It could be a few things, of course. First thing, like I said, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. We could get to that level and then start building up the right shoulder and look to move higher. Or will hold this resistance and continue lower. This is on cocoa. A strong week, almost 12%. Platinum continues its move higher. As you could see here, we just broke through the previous support here, sorry, previous resistance with a spike on Friday, but closing right around this level here. So the high here was 1769.4. We closed a little bit lower than that level. I'll just set it up approximate level here. So platinum is strong. Just see the big picture here. We've been moving very nicely. Every correction created a continuation to the upside. As you could see here, it looks strong. Silver, it's just moving higher and higher. Friday, we did have a reversal here, erasing the Thursday's move. But if you see on the weekly chart, it's been super strong, 3 consecutive weeks to the upside on silver. So the metal group is very strong, and it just shows you that it could be that which triggered the safe haven idea when there was panic on the market. Nasdaq went down more than 2%. So it looks like money goes into safe haven assets, the metals. Palladium as well had a strong week, up 3%. And of course, the classic safe haven gold. We did try Friday. Actually, if you traded gold, I had a feeling that we're gonna break the highs. It was moving very, very strongly here, taking no prisoners, as they say, just moving higher. Then out of nowhere, as you could see here, 3 p.m. GMT, by the huge drop here, going below the beginning of this leg to the upside. And pretty much we did close, of course, in a green, but we give away about 50% roughly of that initial move to the upside. So gold up 2.05%, and the last winner on our list is sugar, up 2.03%, also breaking through 50-day moving average here. Let's see the weekly chart. As you could see here, we are trying, after this long sell-off, we had a bounce here on the week of 9th of November. Since then, this is the weekly chart, right? Each candle represents a week. Since then, we've been really, really holding, and could possibly be building for continuation to the upside. Now, to the downside, we said the energy sector has been weak. We had a huge move on unstoppable move on natural gas here. This is the weekly chart from 315 all the way to about 5.5, 549.3, and then in 1 week we just erased pretty much half of that move. If you take a look at it, this is the current week. We started with the sell-off and continued. We closed below 50-day moving average here. So should we continue lower, we probably will be targeting the low over here of October 29th, which was 375, around this area. And maybe some buyers will step in. Or maybe we'll just go straight back up. This was a big sell-off, right? The only thing, as you could see here, as the sell-off started, the volume decreased, but that's very subjective. That's on natural gas. Heating oil is next. Also, we had a big sell-off week, breaking through 100 and 200 day moving averages here. Heating oil down 6.7%. Of course, crude oil as well. It's been a selling week here. We're coming possibly to form double bottom here. This was the low with the spike, 57.10. And Friday's low was 57.14, a little bit higher than that. Let's see how we continue with the oil in the upcoming week. Soybeans as well. They had a sell-off here after having a nice run, making a lower high and getting more intense on the selling side. We just broke through 50-day moving average here. On soybeans, if we continue lower, we might be targeting at this level, the top of the gap. If we break it, we could be closing the gap over here. And copper also on the weekly chart, we had a selling week. On the daily, we did okay until Friday. Friday, we erased Thursdays. Thursdays moved to the upside, and we're still with overall. We did have a nice recovery since this drop with the tariff. I call it manipulation, if you want to say it, with all Trump's wording on tariffs on copper and then changing it to products of copper, not the raw copper. All those things. Where this huge drop since then, we've been trying to step up here. We recovered nicely here, right? And the uptrend here is clear. As you could see here, we did break through this double top on copper. So our support is around here, around 5.25. Let's see what happens then. So that's as far as commodities. Moving to Forex, as we said, dollar index, since that decision, it's been sitting here until we had the interest rate decision. We did bounce off 200-day moving average, was sold that Wednesday after the decision. Thursday, we followed a lower, and Friday we had a little bit of a green. So that Thursday's low, that's the low of the current move or current swing. The low here is 98,115. Let's see if that holds here. We just run to the majors, of course. Euro dollar is just a mirror image here. We are on the upside here, looking very nicely, making higher highs, higher lows. Pound dollar, we are facing the 200-day moving average resistance. As you could see here, we tried to break out through it, coming right back in. And this level that we closed around 133.72 corresponds to our previous resistance here from the end of October. So that's on pound. Australian dollar has been strong together with New Zealand, with the China move to the upside and the weakness of the dollar. We were on the way to possibly retest the highs of September, and still looks very, very healthy. Nice correction here Thursday and Friday. New Zealand dollar, not as strong as Australian, but we are establishing, it looks like it, a new support around 0.58. This was the resistance here, October 29th. We did break through it on Wednesday with that FOMC, the interest rate decision, and we are still holding this level, possibly switching from resistance to support, opening possibilities for continuation to the upside. Dollar Swiss, of course, sold on Wednesday, Thursday continuation, and Friday a little bit in green, as we said. USD CAD has been selling, and a lot of traders actually looking at this as a liquidity chase here. So if this happens, we might be actually retesting this very serious level here around 0.3720s. We had triple bottom here before moving higher here. So we might be coming here, chasing that liquidity. It's a new fancy word for some traders, right? And let's see how we react if we come to this level here. Now, another thing, if oil continues selling, we might actually see a little bit of slowing of this downtrend, as Canadian dollar might get a little bit weaker with selling of oil, as there's a strong correlation. Dollar yen is holding here. Let's see, like we said, we had the FOMC decision last week. This week we have the Bank of Japan decision on interest rate. These things might change. So let's just run through the yen really quick. Pound yen is holding strongly. Aussie yen holding strongly. Canadian holding strongly. And Swiss JPY, very interesting situation here. I think it's at the historical highs here. And on Thursday, we did reach this high of November 20th, as you could see here, and we stopped right there. Friday, we did break through it, and then we closed flat pretty much. So the opening price was 195.65, and closing price was 195.65, a little bit fraction of a pip. So we could be seeing a double top here with a potential reversal. We are still holding this trend line here, which we briefly broke through the downside and then moved right back up. So out of all the yen pairs, the Swiss yen is something to watch for this week for possible reversal, or of course we could see continuation as well, but for that we need to break out, have some closing above it and some price action above it, building up support. Until now, it still remains resistance at the current levels. So that's Forex, and as promised, a little bit for dessert. Bitcoin is not having a huge party here, or no party at all, trading right in the middle of this channel here. We had a sell-off on Friday, and over the weekend we are flat pretty much. And XRP psychological level of 2 is holding, but also not a lot of enthusiasm here. So cryptos are feeling a little bit of downside pressure. All right, that's it pretty much. Let's just run through the major events for this week, so we'll be prepared. As we said, we have NFP numbers together with retail numbers, and that's on Tuesday. Very, very important from the US. We have interest rate decision on Thursday from UK. We have CPI numbers from US, also very, very important. And we have interest rate decision from Japan. So those are the key events. And of course, we're getting closer to the holidays. People are preparing, and it's really a happy time of the year. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy the time with your loved ones, prepare yourself for the upcoming week. And don't forget about social media channels, subscribe, get notified, click on those bells. And I wish everyone a very successful and profitable week. Watch your risks, have a plan, and all the best. Take care.